You begin.
Begin now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Madhi, and this is day 551. Wake up, everybody, virtual community. I'm so excited to be presenting to you today. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see your faces. Good to see your faces. How's everybody doing this morning? Let's get the energy moving. Get the energy moving. Get pumped up.
Greetings.
Good morning. Good
Love.
morning.
Good morning, Brother Berwick. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine, brother. I'm doing fine, beloved. Good to see your face. Good to see your face in the place. Good morning, everybody. Good morning as you come on. Good morning. Day 551. Wake up, everybody, virtual community. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Good to hear that voice. Good to hear that voice.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Facebook. Don't want to forget our Facebook people on Facebook that's tuning in. Good morning to you all. Wake up, everybody. This is day 551. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Marty, unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. They told me to make sure I unmuted myself and I forgot anyway. I'm so excited about being able to be with you this morning. And this morning, I'm going to be talking to you about the subject matter of living as part of the solution. In order for me to do that, I think it's important that I begin with giving you a little background about myself so that you would see how my experience fits in and gives me qualifications to be able to talk about what we're going to talk about. I want to thank the Facebook family that's out there listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. This is day 551, living as part of the solution. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So listen, 30 years ago, I would say more than 30 years ago, maybe about 33 years ago, I started my life coaching practice. And when I started it, life coaching did not exist. It was an unheard of thing. So I consider myself one of the pioneers in the industry. And now the reason why I created it, I called it life coaching, was because of two reasons. Number one was because I had been involved with athletics all my life, and I've always had a coach in my life coaching me. So I thought people would benefit from having a coach, just like I had athletic coaches. But the second part of it was I called it life coaching because I believe that your life is coaching you. Not that I was going to be the coach, but your life itself was coaching you. And that my job would be to get you to listen to your life. So that's the reason why I called it life coaching. And that was some 30 some odd years ago. And lo and behold, today, life coaching is one of the biggest industries that are out there. And I'm happy to be able to say that I'm one of the pioneers in the industry. So what I will be sharing with you today is a lot of things that I've learned from over 33 years of being in the business. And I consider myself, I'm in the transformation business. I'm not in the motivation business. Excuse me, there's a difference between the two. I want to motivate people at the same time, but I am in the business of helping you transform, because transformation brings about complete change that allows you to grow to a whole nother level. I want to support people growing, outgrowing their problems. Nature does something very, very miraculous. Nature deals with problems by outgrowing them. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you today is about outgrowing our problems more than reacting to something or getting a quick fix. So in the short run, I want to be honest with you, in the short run, some of the things I'm saying may be a little painful in the short run, but in the long run, it will bring you great benefits and through transformation where you be able to see more of yourself. So I want to start by sharing a story with you, something that happened recently in my life. And I have no problem with revealing myself and allowing people to know who I am. So I recently lost my mother, and it was unexpected. Brought in to have a routine hip surgery, and she never came out of the surgery. And that was difficult. It was extremely hard. Losing a mother and living out in the world without a mother can be, it's a difficult thing. But before that, I had an even more difficult situation that I had to deal with. It was very emotionally painful. And what happened was my oldest daughter's mother lost her battle with cancer. Now, the reason why I want to share that is because I didn't think it would be that tough, because I cut off communication with her for like when my oldest daughter, who's now 27, turned 18 years old. Our relationship was toxic. And so I cut off communication with her. So we hadn't spoken since 18, fast forward to 27. She's fighting she's having a fight against cancer, and she's losing her battle. And my daughter calls me up, who lives in New Orleans. She says, "Dad, I need you to come down and visit with Mother." You know, when you think you've completed something, or you think you're out of something, and my daughter says, "I need you to do this for me." So I come down to visit her mother while her mother's still in the hospital, and she's in her last moments. And I go there, and she's in the bed. She's basically unresponsive, unconscious because of the medication. But me and my daughter, we sit there, and we're talking and sharing some of the good times that I've experienced with her mother. And I wanted her to remember her mother in such a loving way. And in the moment when I got ready to walk out of the room, her mother wakes up out of her lucid state and says to me, "Oh, hey, Madhi, it is so good you came to see me. Thank you so much." And she goes right back to sleep. So that made it difficult, but what made it even more difficult was then when she passed a week later, I had to come back and go with my daughter to go through the whole funeral, procession stuff to get ready, get her body ready, go to the funeral home and all that stuff. And it was painful, extremely painful. But the most painful thing was being at the funeral. And for the first time, my daughter had it set up where they had photographs of her mother all over the church on easels. It was almost like an art show of different photographs of different parts of her life at different moments in her life. And right in front of myself and my daughter, where we were sitting at the front of the church, there was a picture of her mother when she was a little girl. And you could look and you could see in her mother's eyes the love, the innocence of herself as a little girl. And as one of her older brothers got on the rostrum on the podium and began to start reading and talking about her life, what I discovered in that moment was I did not know her at all. There were things about her that I discovered at her funeral that I really should have known the day I met her. In other words, it described the story of why she was the way she was. And in that moment, I had nothing but compassion for her, nothing but understanding for her. And I wish I would have known that when she was alive. That was painful. It was painful for me, painful, I know, for my daughter. And I was also paining for the life that was lost because she lived without letting people get to know her. And what that brought me to was this reality that I want to talk to you about this morning, is that so many of us, we pass without anybody knowing us. And I'm not talking about knowing what your job title is. I'm not talking about knowing how much money you got or what clothes you like to. I'm talking about knowing you beyond this flesh and bones. Knowing you. I want to key you into something that our soul wants for each one of us. And this is something I've discovered late in my practice, but throughout all these years, all the evidence has been piling up. Our soul wants each and every one of us to be known. There's not a single one of us who have come into this world to be invisible, to be unknown, to be the best kept secret. None of us come here to be the best kept secret. We come here to be known and understood by everyone we come into contact with. In other words, our soul wants us to be famous. Now, I want you to pay attention to how you initially respond or react to that statement, because you have a worldly view, for the most part, of what famous means. Famous don't mean popularity on Facebook, popularity on Instagram, getting a whole bunch of likes or hearts. Fame really means being known. And as we go through this presentation together, you're going to see how life has been set up for us to be known. And it's really difficult to live in this life and not be known. All of our pain really comes, emotional pain comes from our sense of being unknown. So now, living as part of the solution, I would say this, is all about how you see yourself. So now I want to talk about how for a minute, and then I want to ask you we're going to break up into groups, and we're going to share with one another the answer to this question. But I want to talk about how. When you see the word how is a scientific word. How is one of those 5 scientific words, like how, who, when, where, and what, help us to formulate some type of scientific methods, right? So how is a big word. When we say how, what we're asking for is by what process or what method do you do something? So when I ask you, how do you see yourself? I want you to answer, by what process, by what way did you come to see yourself? And I want you to be honest as possible in this question. I want you to be as revealing. I want you to allow people in your group to get to know you. So that means starting off with the truth about how you see yourself, because get this, what you see is what you get. Now, we're going to talk about that too when we come back. What you see is what you get. The law of reciprocity holds that whatever you see is what you're going to get. In other words, is what you're going to make out of. We make out of ourselves what we see in ourselves. So how do you see yourself? Let's break up into groups right around now. And in your group, I want you to answer, how do you see yourself? By what experiences, by what process, et cetera, that you've come to see yourself as, and be as honest about that as possible, because that will help us in this journey. Facebook, get ready. And we want you to be able to join in this too. Is somewhere Facebook joins in this too?
So Facebook cannot be broken into groups, Madhi. So they can share in the Facebook comments the response to that question.
Nigel, if you could keep a room in this main space so that they can witness and experience,
Sure.
to interact with, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave a few people here in this room. And I'm almost done, just trying to add a few more folks to the room. How many minutes do we want the room to be open?
Let's start with 7. Let's start with 7, right? And like I said, I want you to be as honest as possible, because honesty, of course, is like oil. It keeps the engine running right.
Okay.
When we don't grease the engine with honesty, and the thing don't move. We stay in the same place. We can't trick anybody. Honesty is how we set ourselves free.
Ashe. All right. So I have the rooms, and I'm going to send you all to your rooms. We'll see you on the other side. Here we go.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Naja.
You are welcome.
Madhi, if you can repeat the instruction for the Facebookers, and we'll stay in, some of us in the room, so that the Facebookers can experience the exchange.
Right. So in your groups, you're going to be answering the question, how do you see yourself? And I want to remind you that how is a word that asks for by what approach, by what method, by what experience do you come to, see yourself? What has influenced you to see yourself in the way that you do? And let's be as honest as possible about the root level of how you see yourself every day.
All right, we have 11 people in this space. Nigel, how do you want to proceed?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was moving people into rooms.
Okay, great.
So,
So maybe John Carl and I can begin. So John Carl, are you ready to share your response to Madhi's question?
Actually, the moment I heard that question, I started to look at myself and think how. When I hear this statement and I look into how I see myself, it's better in the first moment, it's better reflected through other people's experience. I tend to look at my friends and think how they see me versus how I see myself. I get a lot of support from my friends, sorry. And I think it's a reflection of the support I give them. So a lot of times I see myself through the eyes of friends. Recently, I've been going through a lot of stress. I've had family pass, a relapse with the interaction I have with my mom. It became difficult again. And sometimes, when you have outside stress in a family, it can spark up those things. And I've had friends reaching out and giving me sparks of advice about who I am and what I mean to them. And sometimes I am very surprised by the grace and gratitude that is reflected from those that are close to me. Because in my place of darkness, I don't really see myself that well. Even what I believe of who I believe and what I believe myself to be can be difficult because of the daily challenges. And I need friends around. And recently this came up where I mentioned friends are mirrors that reflect back to me who I am. And when I see myself through the reflections, I'm called back to my greatness. They don't let me forget that who I represent to them and what that means. And it feels pure to me because I'm like, wow, you're going to do this for me? Oh, you're offering me this? Like, oh my goodness. I didn't realize that this is what I meant.
Right.
So I see myself through the mirrors around me that reflect back to me who I am. And those mirrors are my friends.
Thank you for that, John. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Shauna, you was going to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. Thank you. So how do I see myself? I experience myself as someone who is an opener of deep connection, deep conversation. I see myself as a model for authenticity, a model for honest and vulnerable sharing. I see myself as a creator or co-creator with others and someone that produces experiences so that we can all grow. I also see myself as a visionary and someone who is a deep thinker. And just on a low vibrational level, as I age, I see myself as, even though I have a big personality, as I age, I see that ahead. It's like, oh my God, am I going to have less access or connection with people? So I see a future where my age and development, becoming a more seasoned senior sister, is not going to be as honored and celebrated as the life that I have now and the life that I had before.
And what would you say you're drawing that from in terms of where's that vision coming from?
The low vibrational one or the
Well,
high
just
vibrational?
period, just because you kept saying like as you see yourself as. I want you to know about how, like how did you come to see yourself as that? How did you come?
Oh my goodness, through experiences throughout my life. I've always been related to as older than I am. I've been related to someone that leads and folks come to for guidance. I've been followed by people before social media. Just people's reactions and engagement with me since I was a little girl has been a demonstration of what I'm called to do, even when I'm scared, even when it's messy, just that's always been from my family, even from the older members, whether they were older young people or older adults. In school, in friendships, I've just always been that person. And as I've come into myself, because I didn't always embrace it fully, I've just recognized how that fuels a greater life for me, and then also supports other folks in having a greater life. So that's the how for me. Beautiful. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, I think you did. You did a good job. The idea is to really begin the process by the way by which we come to see and understand ourselves, because what we see will be what we get from ourselves. So I said, I know people still in the group that the key to living as part of the solution is in how you see yourself. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, because we all are solutions. We are solutions, right? And depending on how you see yourself will give you access to the solution that you are, or will cause you to see yourself as a problem. Mm-hmm. Many of us live our lives seeing ourselves as a problem, which is a problem, which will prevent you from living as part of the solution. So I can't wait to hear what people have to say about how they see themselves, and to be unafraid to share with each other how you see yourself. Because I know for the first part of my life, I didn't see myself in a very positive way at all.
I love that. So we have just under a minute, and we have a couple more people here in the main space with us. I'd like to invite Stacy, if you're willing to answer for us, how do you see yourself? Oh, excuse me. And then as you're speaking, the breakout rooms will probably end, and so you will see people flooding in. But Stacy, are you there?
I'm here, but I just got here. So I'm not sure if I can come up with an answer so quickly. How do I see myself?
Yes. And when I say how, I'm speaking to the process by which you do it. What method, by which way did you come to see and think of yourself the way that you do?
I mean, certainly some of what Shawnee said resonated for me, that through the ways that I've experienced, experiences that I've had in my life, that has shaped some of how I see myself. How I see myself today is very different from how I used to see myself, though. I think I've begun to rely more on my own clear-eyed picture of myself than other people's reactions to me. I used to spend more time giving more weight to other people's responses to me And not that I don't care what other people think about me or how they see me, but I give more weight to my own impression now than I used to. So how do I see myself? I still haven't answered your question.
I think you did. I think you did, because you talked
Okay.
about your journey. Your journey didn't start with where it is now, and you went through a process of taking back the way other people see you in order for you to ground you the way you see yourself and live in that. It's like very powerful when we are living in the way we see ourselves, and we've reached that point to where our view of ourselves is very beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for calling on me, Nigel. And you said my name, I was like, oh no. I'm glad you did.
It's all fine. So folks are starting to return to the main space. The breakout rooms were set to close. So people are starting to come back, Madhi. And I wonder if you want to allow some folks to share what they shared in the
Definitely.
breakout rooms. Great.
Definitely. Yes, we definitely want to hear from people. You know, this is a conversation more than it is a presentation.
Great, wonderful. So what I am going to do, I'll ask if there's anybody that wants to share before we then move to calling on people. So is there anyone in the community that would like to share how they see themselves?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you.
You know, while we waiting, I could maybe share a little more about how I saw myself when I was like 5 years old. You know, I experienced something very traumatic. My mom and dad had divorced. It was a very violent marriage, very violent marriage. And I thought by them divorcing, everything would be fine. It would be a relief for us. Turned out that things got harder. But during that period of my life, I came to see myself as being unlovable and unworthy. That was how I saw myself for years, as being someone unlovable and unworthy. And my life reflected the experiences I had. What I saw in me is what I got in me. So I lived for a long time as the problem because I didn't see myself as worthy. Right.
Thank you for sharing that. Kaisha has raised her hand. So Kaisha, if you can unmute yourself and share with us. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Good morning. I shared this at the end of the group because like I shared with the group, it was like this question scared me. At first, I said, you know, a lot of people see me as more than special. I don't see what other people see in me. But then after listening to the other women's shares, I came up with 2 words. I see myself as healed and transformative because I am healed, I believe, from our past long-term relationship of a marriage. And right now I'm living my life and I'm taking risks. And so that's the transformative part. I'm just living my best life, as my friends would tell me, or taking risks and trying new things. So that's how I see myself now, is healed and transformative.
Beautiful.
So I want to thank my group members for pulling that out of me.
Beautiful. I want to thank the group members for too, because that's a powerful thing for you to see that transition, you know, and be able to see what you just shared. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
The next hand is Desiree. And then after Desiree share, Laura Clark.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I felt the same way. This is a scary question for me. It's actually been something that I have been thinking about most recently. And if I'm being completely honest and transparent, the way that I see myself is that I really don't spend enough time seeing myself, taking time to realize who I am as a person. And like listening to your story, about your traumatic experience when you were young makes me think about the loss of my mom. And that happened to me when I was young as well. And I have two other siblings. And I jumped right into, at that age of my life, being responsible for others, you know, like making sure that my brothers always had what they needed. Being willing to take the short end of the stick to make sure that they had, you know, like that big piece of chicken, you know, or and then I realized that's how I lived my life. You know, like making sure that everyone else was satisfied. So I never really took the time to see who I am, to see what would bring me satisfaction, giving myself satisfaction. So, and that explains so many other aspects of my life. You know, like when I have to talk about myself at work, like if I'm on an interview, that's why I struggle, because I don't see myself.
Ooh, thank you so much for sharing that. Let me tell you something. You just dropped the wake up community bomb, because this wakes up people in their spirit. When somebody drops an honesty bomb, what it does, it creates like a cracking in the atmosphere, and we begin to start feeling ourselves, because what we all really want is to be connected to ourselves. And I relate to you so much, because I have been living my life, even as a coach, even in my practice, I had left myself out of my life, because I had that same situation where I was supposed to take care of everybody and take on all the responsibilities. And I literally had not have any plans for myself. Just a quick story. There was a brother that I taught for years in one of my first classes that I did when I taught the group of men in New Orleans. And he came to me and he says, Madhi, can you tell me, how do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I started to describe for him what I saw in the movement, how I saw people transforming and communities transforming. And he says, wait a minute, maybe you didn't get the question right. How do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And then when it was in that moment, I realized that I had created a life without me in it. That my life was all about everybody else and had nothing to do with me. It was about looking at other people, measuring other people, doing for other people. And I was putting myself last. I had absolutely no image of myself. Thank you for sharing that, because that's profound.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sister.
For bringing that out of me, because like I said, I have been thinking about it a lot recently, and having this specific conversation, you know, like starts me on the road of self-discovery and the necessity of it. And I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Wow. So, Laura, thank you for coming on camera. Please tell us how you see yourself.
Yes, greetings, everyone. Blessings. Yeah, you guys just spoke my story for me. Maybe I won't have to say anything else. But as Madhi shared, my life is a work in progress. Work in progress. I used to live in the story of victimhood to my circumstances, to my traumatic early life. And through work in different groups, different communities, and now in WU and with Madhi and Tirza, I started to see myself. I started to see what was driving me. The crippling people pleaser, the unworthiness, the not enoughness. And from Madhi, I learned about the butterfly principle, waking up slowly as the butterfly did through its process. And now, of course, the patterns are still here, but I'm not wallowing in the stories anymore. I know I'm looking at the lessons from the story instead, because I want to discover me. I want to get on the other side. I want to know the soul, who I am before all of the conditioning. So I am truly grateful for this community and for Madhi for telling me to stop lying to myself. Stop lying to myself, because how can I be perfect, whole, and complete, and yet telling myself I am unworthy, I'm not enough? But how could I do that? So, I'm just grateful for this community and for Madhi and Tirza for just telling me the truth blatantly. I am grateful. I'm thankful.
Thank you, sister.
Ashe.
Beautiful seeing your face. Beautiful seeing your face in the place.
Yeah,
Having that
Madhi,
spirit
I'm
just
here.
explode into the room. Wow. Boom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Blessings.
You're welcome.
Blessings.
So was there any other hands up before we?
So I don't see any other raised hands, but I will share 2 comments from Facebook.
Okay.
So Darnice on Facebook says, guarded, cautious, and caring in response to how do you see yourself? And then Omifunke McLeod, I hope I'm saying that correctly. He or she says, I see myself as curious about myself and how I consistently question what makes the world go round and seek out solutions to conflicts.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank everybody for sharing what you've shared, and hopefully you will, continue to share. I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that life is an invitation-only game. Life on earth is an invitation-only game. What I mean by that is that none of us came into this world uninvited. We all were invited, right? Now, I want you to, in this imagining, I want you to guess how and why did you get invited? How did you get invited? Why did you get invited into the game? Because you're in the game, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, you're in the game of life playing it. Why do you think you got invited? Why do you think you got invited? Let's talk about that in the community. Why did you get invited? I want to hear your answer for why you got invited to this game. What y'all think about that question, community? What y'all think about that question? Why did you get invited to this game? I want to know. I want to know why you're here.
I will share. My name is Rachel. I feel like the reason, I know that the reason why I'm here and the cards that I was dealt to me in life were for me to share. My pain is my purpose. So, when I show up unashamed, transparent, honest, healing, always willing to learn and grow. The reason I said healing is because I don't feel I'll never ever be healed. Coming from where I came from in my life, I don't feel like I'll ever be healed completely. I believe I'll be able to navigate through healing and learn different ways to heal, continue to heal, and learn to handle certain situations. Having the understanding. So I'm definitely here for purpose. Definitely. I can say it no other way. That's me personally.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for completing that.
So I don't see anybody calling on anyone, so I'm going to just dive in.
You jumped right in. Come on, Mama.
Good morning, Mahi.
Good morning, sister.
Yes, sir. So that is a wonderful question. Number one, I am here because I said yes. There's a story. Yes, there's a story about the soul and the sun and how the soul wanted to know who it was even though he realized it was part of God. But in order to find out how you know what that meant, was to come into a situation where it wasn't there. Who I always saw myself as I was coming up was not enough. Not enough hair, not enough money, not enough smart. I mean, just not enough. And that's what I was plopped down on this planet, in this energy field, with overcoming not enough. And to prove that I am enough is to do the work that I'm doing.
Beautiful.
So yes. And you know what? I'm still finding out how I am enough. I'm constantly, and I'm 78 years old. I'll be 78 next month. I'm still learning. I'm still evolving. I'm still, and every year, every breath I take, it gets more and more exciting. It's like, all right, Spirit, show me the next thing I need to overcome so that I can show that I am proving you in this planet. I am proving God.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for
And
that.
I'm complete.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mama Amal. So hands just flew up when you asked this question. I'm gonna go to Lisa next. Can you unmute yourself and tell us why you were invited? Why do you think you were invited to this party? Are you there? Lisa, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you're saying my name correctly. I'm sorry, I'm trying to. I think when you say this party, you're talking about life, right?
Yes.
And
life on earth.
Life on earth. And I've been receiving coaching with Madhi, and I know the question that you all answered earlier, it was a struggle for me too. But I do believe, looking at my own life and the generational curses of my family, I believe I was put here to make a change, not only in mine, but also in others. And I had to take like some serious risk that flipped my whole family upside down. And they're still not happy with me. But I do believe with my voice and waking up my family and people coming forward, I hope I'm not being too, I guess I could say it, with molestation in my family, only to find out that it was happening to more people than myself, and taking that risk and saying something woke up a lot, shook up a lot. But at the same time, I think I'm here to also help other people that might be going through the same thing.
That's right.
And I'm still transforming, thanks to Brother Madhi. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sister.
And it's not an easy journey. It's not. It is not. But I am still transforming. I can't say I'm fully transformed because I'm not. But I am transforming, and I'm transforming others in my family. And hopefully the reason why I'm here is to speak up to help others as well, because I too was a victim of pleasing everybody, doing for everybody. And I totally forgot about me. What about me? And now I'm learning about myself. And that's the most important thing of all, is who are you as a person yourself? You got to know who you are first before you can even reach out to help other people.
That's right.
I can't help anybody if I can't help me, if I don't even know who I am. And now I know, and I'm getting to know, I should say, I don't say, I know, I'm getting to know myself. So
Beautiful.
I hope
Beautiful.
that helps.
That helps a lot. Thank you, sister.
You're welcome.
Wendy.
This journey is so important. And if you on this journey, you get invited into the game, you got invited to the game. And if you don't get to know yourself, then you're going to miss out on the game. You're going to miss out on the game, the whole party of the game, because you are a big reason why the game exists. So your answers to this question is so important. Why did you get invited? Why do you think you got invited to the game? I would say nobody put you here. You accepted the invitation to come. We live in a free world, a free will world. And it's free will because nobody sent you, nobody made you come, nobody forced you. You said, I can't wait, send me in the game, coach. I want to get in the game. So why did you want to come in the game?
So Madhi, we have several responses in the chat and we have 2 hands raised. So let's go to the 2 hands that are raised and then I'll share what's in the chat unless you wanted to go in a different direction.
No, it's beautiful. Let's keep this going.
All right, great. Wendy, are you ready?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, until I just heard what you said, I felt I was never invited to this game because I was a victim of supposedly date rape. So, but I guess I was pushy and I came anyway because my mom, she had several attempts at abortion.
You wanted to get in this game bad.
Yeah, I really wanted to get in this game. Trouble is, when I got into the game, I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to be doing in the game until now with through Be the Tree and several other coaching platforms. I began to discover, and from people, discovered why I was so pushy without a direct invitation. Because my life is going to be my story, my testimony. So
that's right.
Yeah, uninvited, but
no, you were invited. You trust me. That's why. That's why the attempt at abortion failed, because you accepted the invitation,
but not from the participants in my birth. Maybe from a higher power, but
yes.
Yeah. So that's me. I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, because we all are a part of the higher power. And like I said, life is an invitation only game. Nobody forces you, because it wouldn't be free will if you were forced to come here. We accepted the invitation, and guess how the invitation is extended? Somebody prayed for a solution to a problem, and you raise your hand and say, I got the answer. Send me in the game, coach. So now you're in the game, and it's important for you to understand and feel within your spirit why you're in the game, because you are a big part of the solution. But it's all predicated on how you see yourself. That's the reason why a lot of people will say that question scares me to answer, because what it does, it causes you to walk down memory lane to see how you've taken on the images that other people have projected onto you in this world, and you have not necessarily seen yourself yet. When it's our job to see ourselves, because what you see from yourself will be what you get from yourself. You will not be able to get anything more than what you see from yourself. If you see yourself as less than, unworthy, unlovable, guess what? That's what you're going to get. And you're going to keep getting it until you see something else. And life is asking you to see all of yourself, to be famous. Our soul wants us to be famous, which means it wants us to know all of who we are and see the magic that has been put into us. Each and every one of us are walking magic. We still got some hands up we want to get to?
Ashe, yes. So Afriye is next. And then we'll end with Carolyn, and then I'll move to reading what's in the chat.
Okay.
So Afriye, are you ready?
Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
When you said that, the first thing that came into my mind was I accepted the contract that I made with my ancestors. And that contract was and is for me to be the light. And how have I been walking in my purpose of being the light? I'm learning more and more about that now. I've been through some things, and I look back on it now and I'm able to say, wow, Because I used to be 250 pounds. I lost the weight naturally. And I said, I was a light for someone that felt like in the beginning, the way I felt, I can't do this. There's no way for me to lose this weight naturally. I've been assaulted, and I felt like there was no way for me to get out of that dark pit. And I got myself out of the dark pit. And I feel like in me getting myself out, there was someone that was with me that knew about it, that saw the way I got myself out. So I was a light for them. Like whatever situation they were going through, they could get out of it.
Yes.
And I continue to see myself as a light because, woo, didn't know tears was going to come up. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because there's still situations that I experience and I don't hold on to them as tight as what I used to. Before, I will hold them so tight, like this is me, and I can't get through it until I got on the other side of it. So now I'm looking at situations and I'm saying, no, that's not me. I know I'm here to be a light, and I will continue to be a light. I'm not saying I don't, I do not know always how I'm being a light for someone until I get through it. And it could be 2, 3, 4 years later, and I look back and I'm like, oh, snap. So my assignment was for me to be a light carrier, and I am walking in my purpose, and I'm holding tight to it each time a situation comes up. And I will say, I don't walk into the situation like, oh, I'm going to be a light carrier. This is what I'm going to do. I walk into the situation and I'm doing things. And later on, I'm able to look back and say, wow, look what I did.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Is it? Because, you know, we don't start there, but it should be where we end. And here's the thing, y'all, the clock is ticking. And none of us know how much time we got, even though we all got 24 hours a day with ourselves. We all got 24 hours a day with, so we all have been doted the same amount of time with ourselves, 24 hours. You with yourself every day, even when you're with other people, you with yourself. But none of us know how much time we have left. We ran out of time. You got to fully live the invitation. Stop acting like somebody forced you to come here. You wanted to get in the game. You wanted to get in the game. We all wanted to get in the game. We begged to get in the game. Please, 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 ancestors, please, source, send me in the game. I'm the one. I want the ball. I want the ball in my hand right now. Put me in the game, coach. You're in the game. You're in the game. What you gonna do with your time in the game?
And I end with saying, I have such a wonderful relationship with my ancestors. And I check on them and they check on me. So we're working this out together. We're working it out together. And once I realized what my purpose, well, let me say this, the end thing. I put on a post-it note that I was ready to walk in my purpose. And when I did that, child, I've been walking it ever since. More and more.
Beautiful.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Wow. Thank you for that, Afriye. Carolyn, are you ready to share with us?
Wow. I was about to say, well, she said it all, so I'm complete. Because that's pretty much, it's very similar to what I'm feeling, but wow, this is so powerful. When you talk about getting in the game, and you talked about memories, like going down memory road. I don't have a lot of memories from my childhood, but I do remember I went to Catholic school, and I remember we were all having a conversation about why we're here. And one day I said, I know that God is going to let me live a long time because I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to be a witness and I'm going to tell the story. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what I was saying. You know, as kids, you say stuff. And as every so often at pivotal moments in my life, when I get discouraged, I remember that. Like, it's like, yeah, well, you said you were here to tell the story and you're going to live a long life. I have sickle cell disease and I was not supposed to be here, not supposed to have kids, all this other stuff. Yet I have children. I'm still here. And as the sister said, I've been going through stuff and I'm not always a willing participant. However, somebody will always say, it's because of you that this happened. And I could sit in a room full of 20 kids and think I didn't make any sense. And then 2 weeks later, a kid will catch me at the library and said, I went back to my parents' house because you shared a story. And that just sits with me. Stuff like that is sitting with me. I'm not going to say I don't know why I'm here. I'm just going to say it's a journey that I'm opening myself up to and allowing myself to embrace. And it's painful. It is. It's not easy, but I'm grateful. I sit in this place of gratitude because I don't know how much time I have, but the fact that I'm able to work it out. The other thing I was going to say is I believe, and this is just my belief, that we come here and we come back and we come back and we come back. That's just my belief until we either get it right and ascend, or I don't know what happens the other way. And in this life, another thing I would say was, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back. I want to move on. I want to get to the next level. Like, this is enough, especially this particular lifetime, where all this stuff that's converging at the same time. I feel like sometimes people are just so cruel and unreasonable that it's my duty to be honest, to be right. Sometimes my son tell me I'm too honest, I'm too good. You know what I mean? But when I look back on the way, you said the way people see you, and you see yourself through those lenses, skews everything. But learning to not see myself that way, I feel like I'm gonna be able to ascend, to not come back to this plane and move on to the next. So I'm very appreciative of this conversation, because I don't get to have these conversations and work this stuff out and flesh this stuff out. So please forgive me for fleshing it out while I'm talking to you guys. I appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. I know there's some people that have to leave. We thank you for having tuned in with us. Those on Facebook, those who are live on Zoom, who have to leave to maybe go to their service or whatever. Thank you so much for joining us. Your contribution has been duly noted and appreciated. Thank you. Were there a few others you want to?
Yeah, so there are several comments in the chat, but before I did that, I wanted to remind folks that your contact information has been dropped in the chat. And also thank you to Carolyn for sharing. When you started, you said she pretty much said it all, and she didn't. So thank you, sis, for sharing your powerful, your share. So moving to the chats, there are several comments. So let me go ahead and read the comments here. Ellen G shared, she was invited to the game to explore why this being any of life's challenges or blessings, are happening for me. She says for me, not to me.
Right.
And she capitalized for.
Beautiful.
Wendy is here in the space, and she says she always saw herself through the eyes of her caretakers, and it was negative. She goes on to say, I saw myself through others outside of my family, and it was positive, but I didn't believe them. Now, after a lot of work, I'm seeing myself authentically for the first time, and I'm loving who I've become.
Beautiful.
See? Moving on to Jacqueline here in the Zoom space. She says, I came in the game to help. I came to heal, to expose, to root, uproot, flip upside down, and was born into a situation where there was abuse in many forms. I lived inside my head for a long time, and now I am exposing myself and who I am. I make no apologies for that. She goes on to say, like others, I struggled with feelings of not being enough and not being worthy. I now know those feelings were lies. I am enough, I am worthy, and a host of other things that are synonymous with being enough and worthy. There are those who struggle with my transformation, but I forgive them because I know the process that we all go through, some more successful than others. I am powerful. Oh, my screen just jumped. I'm sorry. Let me go back there. I am powerful, insightful, open, generous, and loving. Jem on Facebook shared, I believe we are one with the Ruach spirits that wanted to experience life as me. Abimbola says, I was invited to be a servant to my family and community. I was invited to walk the divine path of righteousness and truth, and to live my best life.
Beautiful.
Another share from Facebook, life is an invitation game only. I invited myself to learn about myself, Earth School. And that was shared by Omefunke. Darnice on Facebook said, how I came to be who I am is child of divorce. Mom passed when I was 22. I was a young mom, foundation unstable. I continue to protect my heart. And then the last comment that I'll read before we move to where you'd like to go next is from Candace. I see myself as transforming, powerful and healing as I get to the next level. I am a manifester. I am a gifted speaker. I am a lover. I saw myself as unlovable and unworthy. I discovered that I was afraid and self-limited by fear. I was the lion in the whiz. I saw myself as ugly and unattractive. I saw myself as tarnished and soiled. I did not love myself. I instead loved others. I gave away my gifts. I quieted my own voice. How do I see myself in the next 5 years? I will be a teacher of adults. I will continue my own self-development. I am now a leader. I also was in victimhood due to my traumas. The butterfly principle is also instructive. Transforming and metamorphosis are my new focus. And then she concludes by saying, I got invited to life to lead my students to their better selves.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for everybody that shared and will continue to share. Here's what I want to leave you with, like some things, some like nuggets. Here's one of the first nuggets. There are 5 habits that this world gets us to participate in that takes our focus off of ourselves onto other people. And therefore, even though we are with ourselves 24 hours a day, you ever wonder that? You with yourself 24 hours a day, and it's possible we can wake up 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, and say we don't know who we are. I want you to think about it, how that's a hell of a thing, that you could be with yourself that long, every day, 24 hours a day, and still wake up not knowing yourself. So you could ask yourself this question: how does that happen? Here is how it happens: that we develop 5 habits. I call them the ego habits, 5 ego habits. And if I had time, I would talk to you in depthly about the ego. But just so you know, these 5 habits are all ego driven. The first habit is comparing. We compare our one-of-a-kind self to other one-of-a-kind selves. Now, how crazy is that? It's crazy because 2 one-of-a-kinds are exactly that, one-of-a-kinds. They don't match because they're one-of-a-kinds, right? So here's one-of-a-kind looking at another one-of-a-kind and then assessing value based upon your measurement of the other one-of-a-kind. So you say, well, why I'm not at that place that other person is? You're not in the same path at all. But we compare ourselves and sometimes think of ourselves as failure because We don't have what another person have. Guess what, y'all? One of the first things that you notice when you look at somebody else is the fact that you're not them and they're not you. So that means they're different, and they're different for a reason. Now, if you looked at them and accepted that they are different for a reason and stop comparing yourself to them, you can begin to start appreciating your difference and their difference. Number two, this is a big one, y'all. Y'all ready for this? Pleasing other people. Pleasing other people keeps our focus off ourselves. We want to please them because, now I want y'all to get this. Secretly, we are really competing with them, but we're using pleasing as a way to win the game. I know I just dropped something on you. Secretly, we are competing with them, but we're using pleasing as a method in the game. So pleasing, because look, pleasing is an inside thing. Nobody can please somebody else. When you are pleased by something, it's because you have brought yourself to a place of pleasure, a place of being pleased or satisfied, not because the other person has done it for you. Have you ever given a gift to somebody and they're still not happy, and you've done all you can to give all kinds of gifts? Because pleasing is not what you do. Pleasing is how a person receives something, and that's on them. The third one is impressing people. We spend a lot of time impressing people, trying to impress people, focusing on impressing people, which means that we secretly believe that some people are more important than us and therefore more valuable than us. Everybody you're trying to impress, you secretly believe that they're more than you. When I say secretly, I mean unconsciously. You unconsciously believe that they are more than you if you're trying to impress them. Number four, proving. Proving, feeling like we have to prove something to other people keeps us distracted from ourselves. And the last one is competing itself. Some of us are competing with people that don't even know we're competing against them. There are people that are friends with you that you are competing with that don't know that you're competing with them. But you are secretly doing that because that's what the ego does. The ego is always about competition. The ego is always about comparing, pleasing, impressing, proving, and competing. And those 5 habits will keep you from getting to know yourself in the time that you have. Now, can you see that? How many of you see that in your life? Can you see traces of these patterns in your life? Can you? Can anybody share how you've seen yourself compare, please, impress, prove? Can you see that?
Absolutely, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Does anybody want to share? Anybody want to share what your experience has been with those 5 habits?
I'll share. When I was a people pleaser, I would work and be invited to an event when I celebrated holidays, and Rachel will bring the 5 trays because she can work, balance her family, do all of these things, and I never realized that I was proving that I can really show up despite my challenges, instead of just saying I'm overworked, I'm tired, the kid's been driving me crazy all day, I could only bring 1 dish. Rachel will bring 5 dishes just to prove to the world that she can do it.
Right. And you know what, something, Rachel, you know what you also were secretly doing? You were competing.
Possibly, yeah.
You were competing with other people. See, the ego is always about competition. Even in the most subtlest way, it's about competition. The only way it knows its place in this world is through competing with other people, proving other people wrong, proving you're better than other people, or even less than other people. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else who struggled with those 5 habits?
Mama Amal, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, I did. Oh my goodness, all 5 of them. But in my conversation about not being enoughness in a lot of areas as I was coming up, oh Lord have mercy, it was just brutal. It was brutal. But in my old age, let me get on the screen. In my old age, I must say, when I find myself doing that, I can catch it. I can yeah, and the only thing that comes out of my mouth is what I feel is truth, and you can either accept it or not. Somebody, you get in a group and people say, yeah, so and so and so, so and so and so. I'll say, well, you got to look at the other side of that coin. I'm always the one that gives the what another way of looking at something. Rather than always complaining or talking about people. Look at it another way. Suppose you were there. And sometimes people, I guess, some people may not find that as camaraderie or whatever you want to call it. But I got to speak my truth. I say, you know what? Whatever comes out of my mouth is spirit, and whatever you can't deal with, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So but I did go through all those steps, got prints on the back of my posterior to show how many times I was knocked down. But I got up and I am fine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that, sister. So I want y'all to know what happens when we get caught up in these habits. These habits prevent us from accurately representing our internal reality. Mm-hmm. Now, I want you to know that there's no one on this planet responsible for representing your internal realities but you, because no one else knows what your internal realities are but you. We all have 5 internal realities that we are responsible for representing in every moment, and every time we accurately represent those realities, we generate our authentic self. So in my coaching practice, I teach that showing up authentic means that you're accurately representing these 5 realities inside yourself. Number 1, what you feel. No one knows what you feel and is responsible for what you feel but you. And it is your job to accurately represent what you feel. Number 2, what you think. Your thoughts are yours. They are your thoughts, not somebody else's. Even when you think you know what other people are thinking about you, you are lying to yourself. You are thinking about what you think about you that you're projecting onto other people. You are responsible for representing your thoughts. Number 3, you are responsible for representing your desires or the things that you want in life. My great-grandmother, Mabel G. Landry, used to always tell me this thing. She says, listen, boy, there's no such thing as something close to what you want. There is what you want, and what you want, that's it. Stop compromising what you want. Know what you want and accurately represent it. Stop settling. That's what she was telling me. Number 4, what you see, how you see things in life. You have to accurately represent the reality of your perception of things so people can know what page you're on. And number 5, you have to accurately represent what you experience. What is your experience? No 2 people ever have the same experience. And when you sign up for the course, the complimentary course I'm sharing with you, you're going to find it out. No 2 people ever have the same experience. We can go through the same events with each other, but we never create the same outcomes out of the events. So therefore, we never experience the same thing, right? So every single one of us are responsible for accurately representing our feelings, our thoughts, our desires, what we see, our perception, and what we experience. That's our responsibility. And what we have to do is stop giving or transferring power over to other people and want other people to see us. You have to represent yourself. That's our job. When we accurately represent ourselves to the world, guess what happens? We please our soul because we show up authentic. And when we show up authentic, we show up as the solution, as part of the solution. Every time you show up inauthentic, you're showing up as part of the problem. I see they got some hands up in the room. We want to get some of those hands?
Yes. So Desiree, you have your hand raised.
Yes. I'm sitting here chuckling to myself because when you said that when you spend time doing a lot of things for people, you're really competing. And what came to mind is that when I am taking action and, like being there for everyone, the thing that I'm competing with is the thought that I want to leave with that individual. That's what I'm competing with. Like she's a good friend. I'm competing with that. I'm competing with that thought. So my actions are to make sure that the things that I'm doing represents me being a good friend, as opposed to just being a good friend and knowing that I am. And something that I learned from this community is transactional giving, right? So I definitely transactionally give, like I give with the expectation subconsciously of something back, whether it be emotional support, reciprocity, or attaboy. I'm always looking for something back. And I never realized that until I really understood what transactional giving was. And I'm complete.
Thank you for that, sister.
You're welcome. This is a great, I always feel like Spirit calls me to come to this community to hear the things that I need to hear in the very moment that I need to hear them. Like I don't come to the space in every time that there is a session, but I feel like every time that I come to the session, it serves the purpose of, like where I'm trying to be. Like I use that butterfly effect, trying to transform into who I am supposed to be in this lifetime. And I'm just so grateful for all the greatness that comes into the community and what it brings to my life. I just wanted to say that. So thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. This is a wonderful community because it's supporting the growth of us, the growth of our minds, the growth of our souls. It is so important. There's 5 things that every soul wants us to have. These are needs. These are not wants. These are needs. Every soul needs to be seen. So being seen does not mean what clothes you have on. That's why in the Bible it talks about the idea of being naked, but naked is a symbolic imagery for being transparent, being seen, totally seen inside yourself. So every human being wants to be seen. Every human being wants to be heard. Every human being wants to be felt. Every human being wants to be touched, not physically, but spiritually touched. And every human being wants to be understood. When we get all 5, we fall in love, either with ourselves or someone else. Anybody that comes into our life that demonstrates those things to us, we'll fall in love with them almost instantly. But here's the thing. We need to be able to do those things for ourselves. We need to see ourselves. We need to hear ourselves. We need to be felt by ourselves. In other words, we need to inspire ourselves. We need to touch ourselves, and we need to understand ourselves. That is a gift we need to give to ourselves. When we do, we start showing up authentic all the time. And when we start showing up authentic all the time, we start showing up as the solution all the time. I'm the solution in the room. You feel what I'm saying? We don't find solutions. We create solutions when we show up authentic. We create them. I see there's a hand up.
So that's Desiree's hand. I will lower it. There was a question in the chat.
Okay.
And Shawnee asked this question a little while ago, about 15 minutes ago. She says, can you truly love others if you don't fully love yourself?
That's a beautiful question. And I would say that it's not like all or nothing in terms of that. We love people at different levels, just like we love ourselves at different levels. The idea is that we are growing to fully love ourselves. Now, when we fully love ourselves, which will be marked by the full acceptance of ourselves, right? Then we could begin to make room to fully accept people as they are. See, we pick and choose what parts of ourselves we want to accept and what part of ourselves we don't accept based upon what the world tells us about certain parts of ourselves. But self-love is only a word until we have fully and completely accepted who we are before the world told us who we are. Because the world don't know you. Nobody on this Zoom know you. It is our job in every moment to give people an opportunity to know us. And guess what? How you show up in every moment is going to be different. So you have the responsibility in every moment to let people know you by doing what? By accurately representing what you feel, accurately representing what you think, accurately representing what you want, accurately representing your perception or way you see things, accurately representing your experiences, That's your job 24 hours a day. When you do it, you show up as love, right? And that's really a way to demonstrate that we love ourselves and that we love other people. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. There is what looks like a follow-up question dropped into the chat. What type of love are we giving when we don't have self-love? And Catherine asked that question.
Well, we're giving, what I would say attachment. We're creating attachment. We're creating the ego-based love that's about attaching and controlling people. And we end up loving out of comparing, out of pleasing, out of, impressing, proving. Those things are laced in the type of love we give out of our ego when we are not fully in love with ourselves. Until we accept ourselves, think about it. We go out there shopping for a mate that's going to accept us, and we haven't accepted us. We expect somebody else to come into our life and accept all the stuff we haven't accepted yet. How that's going to work? How has that been working for you? I know it didn't work for me.
So as folks in the church say, you are on my pew. I'm feeling very, very uncomfortable, but enlightened in this conversation. Let me just share a couple of things that were dropped in the chat by Rachel and by Jacqueline. Okay. Rachel says, I wanted everyone to believe I was a great mother. I overcompensated with what I was not capable of giving emotionally at the time. Whew, Rachel, thank you. You are my reflection, sis. Jacqueline says, I remember withdrawing myself from the world by not sharing my feelings or my voice. This came from being all that I am as a child in my family. When I was hurt by others, words about me and their treatment of me physically and emotionally, I decided not to share myself. So that is the self-imposed imprisonment that I have had to overcome.
Thank you so much for that. Listen, y'all, I know this may be uncomfortable when you hear it, but your soul wants one thing for you and one thing alone. And if you accept the challenge of what your soul wants for you, your life will be totally transformed. Your soul wants you to be famous. Not popular, famous, which means your soul wants you to be known. Every moment you step into your life, every circumstance, every relationship, your job is to accurately represent yourself, accurately represent your internal reality so you can generate your full self in the circle. And when you do, you will be known. You will have fame. Now, what's the opposite of fame? Sham, a sham or shame. What this world has done is caused us to be ashamed of who we are. So we will hide ourselves like Adam and Eve hid themselves in the bushes and with fig leaves. They hid, and you can't hide from your soul because your soul knows you. And guess how your soul sees you? Your soul sees you as a perfect work of art. Every single one of us are a perfect work of art. That's why we're unique, and there ain't no one like you on the planet, billions on the planet, and ain't no work of art like you. Now, if someone gave you a Picasso or a Rembrandt, you would know one thing. Do not alter the picture, because if you alter it, it loses its value. Now, I'm going to leave you with that. What do you get from that? If a Picasso is altered, or Rembrandt, or whatever one of those famous artists are, if you know that you're not supposed to alter the photograph and you lose value if you alter it, why do we spend so much time trying to alter ourselves? It's time for us to stop being shams and accept the fame that our soul wants for us. Embrace that we are a perfect work of art. What y'all getting from that? What y'all feeling from that? I know we getting close to the end, but what y'all getting from that? Because your soul loves you. When you see yourself as your soul sees you, everything will transform. And your soul thinks that you are a perfect work of art and therefore deserves to be famous.
Wow, I just want to jump in. This is Sahu Speed. Oh my goodness. Thank you for this. This is so on point, brother. You are so focused, so strong, so 360 in all that you do. Your presence, your understanding is just like,
I'm just taking it all and it's just so on point, so on time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. I don't really have a question. I'm just really saying thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your energy in this space. Because we all are perfect work of arts. And look, when we know that each one of us want to be seen, heard, felt, touched, and understood, then we can show up like fully human beings too with one another. There's nobody on this call that wants to be invisible. And we need to stop acting like we want to be invisible, like we don't want nobody to know us, because that's not true. Stop telling ourselves that lie and step into the fame that your soul wants for you. Your soul wants you to be famous. Repeat the magic words after me. I want to be famous no matter what. I want to be famous. I'm serious. You got to acknowledge it and accept it, because as long as you are ashamed of the perfect work of art, then the fame that is deserving to you, that will open every door for you in your life, will not come until you accept that I want to be famous. I want to be famous. And there's plenty of room for all of us to be famous, because we all perfect work of art. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. As an admin, it is sometimes a challenge to stay in the admin role and not be moved, and continue to focus on the chat and, you know, focus on the screen. And I'm having a tough time right now, but I'm glad that I'm having a hard time. So thank you for that. It is 8:29. People are dropping in the chat. I want to be famous. So we want to be famous no matter what. So thank you for that. If you are ready, let me know what we're doing. I almost don't even know what we're supposed to be doing in this moment. I'm so moved. So tell me what you want to do. Are we moving to your special offer? Did you have more to say? Did you have any final words?
We could move to the special offer, because I think that they said, a lot of people are saying the link doesn't work. So I'm going to ask people to go to the website just to register for it. And when the website information is on, will be on the offer page too, I think.
All right, great. So I'm going to move us there. So if you give me one moment, I will share.
I want to mention really quick too, Madhi and Nija, that I fixed the link. Just a couple letters fell off and I fixed it. So it's in the chat correctly. And I invite people to run to this link and sign up. I will sign up also, Madhi, because
thank you.
I love what you're saying here. So much value. And I want to be first to invite you back. I heard you mention earlier you don't have enough time to share the process of the definitions of one of the 5 pointers you shared. And I want to let you know we are here 5 days a week and we want you back.
I would love to come back.
Everybody know that right now.
Yeah, I would love to come back, because just, you know, this is a community that needs to expand. We need more of this, a support system for us, because we owe it to ourselves to provide oxygen for ourselves. And the Woo community provides spiritual oxygen for us to breathe and expand. So Woo community, I want to offer this. It's a free e-course. It's titled Living as Part of the Solution. It's pretty in depth, you know, but you could take your time and go through it. It's based on 5 steps and what I call the 3 cosmic mandates. You have to understand the 3 cosmic mandates that are on your life. And as you start applying those 3 cosmic mandates, it will allow you to be able to take the steps that I will share with you in this course that will take you through what I would consider closer to being famous, or bringing you through a process of where you're allowing yourself to be known. Your soul wants to be known. Stop getting in the way of that. Sign up today. Sign up today.
Yes, sign up today, everyone.
And so here's my contact information. You see my phone number and how you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. The best way would be to get in contact with me, to email me at Madhi, it should be MAHDI instead of MDHI, MAHDI @soulfocusgroup.com. My fault, because I was asked to read that before and I didn't pick up on that. So it's mahdi@thesoulfocusgroup.com. That is the best way for you to get in contact with me if you're interested in coaching, if you're interested in just having a conversation. I'm open and willing, because I want to be famous too. And that's every day. You have to accept that challenge every day. And it's not a one size fit all. It's not a do one thing and then all's done. Every day you got to practice accurately representing your 5 realities so you can show up famous.
Love offering and donations. We thank you so much, Mahdi, for the presentation you presented us with this morning. There's so much value here. You are living your purpose, and you are inviting us to do the same. And today we want to bless you if you've blessed us. And we have several ways to do that. We can send our love offering and donations. And remember, everyone, what money means. Money is energy, and we see it as energy here in this community. My own natural energy yields. What you put out comes back. It comes back 10 times fold or multiple fold, as I've experienced in this community. And you can do so by Zelle or QuickPay through the handles or the email address, soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. You can do so by Cash App using the handles $Spirit of a Woman, and the hyperlink is in the chat. You click that and you can send your donations immediately. And it doesn't matter how much you send, send whatever feels right for you, and do it now, because we don't want to wait. We want to do it right now. Do it right now where the energy is boiled up. It's overflowing within you. The code we want you to use is 551BMD. Again, that code is 551BMD. And family, you know how we do. We share the love comes back. Next slide. And coming up next, our very own Sahu Speak, and that's tomorrow, Sahu Speak Kokai. And her topic is Shake It Up, Baby. Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. And knowing you, Sahu Speak, I know it's going to be fun. I look forward to that session tomorrow. Please join us tomorrow, everyone. And our second Wooniversary, that's coming up on March 29th. And we have the We Choose campaign going. We hope that you've sent in your videos. I know I've sent mine in. I've made my choice, and I choose to transform. So we invite you to celebrate with us from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesday, March 29th. And we have some special facilitators. We're going to have Brandon there, and I see hosted by the very own Shawnee. And I'm not sure who I'm seeing in the bottom, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be a beautiful anniversary, Wooniversary, and celebration. Join us, everyone. Thank you so much. And for those who are new to our community, we welcome you. We invite you to invite your family and your friends to a community where we choose to learn, elevate, and ascend. And if you're new, do me a favor and just mention it in the chat. Just drop it in chat and watch how the love flows. Our community are here to welcome you. So if you're new, just mention in the chat. If it's your first day, your first week, if you're just becoming more familiar, just here for a few sessions, mention in the chat, whether you're in Zoom or Facebook, and our community will shower you with love. And here's our schedule. Again, if you're new, we're here 5 days a week from Sunday through Thursday. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we have our 90-minute session from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And on Monday and Wednesdays, a little short but juicy session from 7 to 7:30 a.m. Our workshops are always live on Facebook. So if you don't get a full workshop like this juicy, beautiful workshop presented by Mahi today, you can go to Facebook and follow up or follow through by watching the replays. And if you need that Woo alert, text Woo Nation to the number 74121. Again, text Woo Nation to 74121. And be active, come to the community, share your experience, let us know your thoughts, share your comments. And any facilitator who you may comment under will respond to you. And don't forget, on the 29th, we want to see you dressed up in your swag. If you're dressed up or holding your mug, holding your water bottle, your tote bag, your computer case, we have it all there for you. And there's several other items you can explore. You can do that by going to a Woo store at bit.ly/Woo swag. We look forward to seeing you in the swag, in the streets, letting know who you are. Everyone you meet, let them know that you're part of this amazing and wonderful community. One more time, we thank you for staying in touch. Here are a few other ways you can do so. You can register at bit.ly/wake up movement. You can do so on Facebook, join us on Facebook, bit.ly/Woo community, that's for a private group, and bit.ly Woo Nation for a public group. You can find us on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. We are on YouTube, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube, and you can always email us directly at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We love you, family, and let's shower that love on Mahdi right now. We're going to take the screen share down. We're going to go to gallery view. We ask you to unmute and bless our brother Mahdi with love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Mahdi, for this great exercise.
Thank you, Brother Mahdi.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful
Fire,
session.
fire, fire.
Thank you.
God bless everyone. And let's move
For
forward.
waking up my soul this morning. Helping me to focus on
The creative people,
no matter what. And that's it. Bringing awareness to those
Thank
things
you,
that I need
Brother
to be aware
Mahdi.
of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope we get to see you again. Thank you, Brother Mahdi, so much. Thank you, Brother Mahdi.
Yeah,
Good
let's move
morning.
forward, everybody.
During this time. God bless you. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Love, 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 love.
Love you, Brother Marty.
Thank y'all too. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. And y'all so welcome. So welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many
Thank you.
blessings, y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And thank you for waking up my soul this morning.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
Thank you for waking up my soul.